video, I want to talk about a few of the things that I include in a set for a service dog. Now this is based on what I use myself for my dog. Now I'll just describe them one by one. One thing you see on the floor is actually a pillowcase right here that is printed with, it happens to be my dog, and service dog printed on the pillowcase. Now, dogs react to the word place. When you need a dog to stay in place, generally you can say or train the dog to know the word place, and what they should do is drop to the ground and stay in their place when you say place. You can use a pillowcase like this as their place. Now I have different ones. I have woven mats. I have her blanket. I could put a blanket on the floor and say place. But the pillowcase is good. It's very washable. It's easy to clean. You can also stuff them with like loose wool and make a cushion if you want, depending on the type of dog you have. If I have to keep in mind with these sets, homeless veterans or homeless anybody with a dog, you need something extremely portable. You could also stuff clothes in there. It depends on how cold it is. So it's a very simple fabric that is also a pocket that you can use as a dog bed or simply just a cloth on the floor as a place. Now it should be, it's not as thick as like a foam pad. If I were to take the dog with me, say to the doctors or the hospital or something like that, would she be extremely comfortable on a pillowcase? Maybe not, but that's not really the point when you're at an office for a visit or at school or in a class. It works. Now the other one is a hanky with home printed on it. Now I call this a doorstep, and this brings in scent and the fact that dogs use scent so much. My dog is actually a sight hound, but obviously she also uses scent. This, you put it at your front door. Even if you have like a rug or a mat at the front door, you put it at your front door. You walk on it. You treat it like a mat. Your shoes, your socks, the smell of the house, all gets on this. Then, and again, bringing in the homeless, if you do that and you're at a shelter, but then you're in a tent, you use it as your doorstep. So you have home and you have place for the dog. Then I have a whistle used for training. In my case, I have seizures where sometimes I can't talk. I use the whistle if the dog is not right next to me. I use, she responds usually on two little toots on the whistle, and if she's not in the room with me, she'll be at my side. So that's what I use it for. You can also use it for training. Then I have, I have 4 of them, and I actually use them more often in hand-spun wool because of the scent of sheep. But I'll explain in a minute about scent. There are 4 of these, and these are used the same way as the pillowcase. I put one of these at the doorway of the bathroom, at the front door, in front of her crate here, and the other one I put either next to my bed or on my bed. Those are place markers, and she knows this, and so wherever I put this down and I say place, that's her place. So you can take the whole training idea with the pillowcase or a mat and actually just use these to do the same thing. Then I have a rope This is a regular rope leash, but it could also be set up as a slip lead for an emergency slip lead. I have a short control leash. It's about 2 feet long. If you're in a wheelchair, it's good to have a short leash like this. This is one of my inventions. It's a comfort collar. One of a dog that I'm familiar with panics in thunderstorms. And they have all kinds of coats, pressure coats that are supposed to kind of give the dog a hug, and they get less frightened in storms. And I believe the same thing works with this knitted collar. My dog doesn't freak out in thunderstorms, but when I put this on her, she feels like she has a whole sweater on. All of the communication between a mother and a puppy or a predator and a dog is through the neck. So this is a hand-knit comfort collar. Some people may think that's a little too much. Too much thinking into is the dog comfortable, but it's not really used like that. It's more used as a miniature sweater, really. And if the dog gets its own scent on there, it knows it belongs to them. And it's like a bandana. A lot of people put a bandana on a dog. Only, in my experience, the fact that it's a warm, soft, squishy sweater-type fabric is a little bit better for the dog than a bandana. It will cover the regular collar, and so if you're using a leash, the leash would be like that. And then this is just a hand-knitted tube, again in hand-spun wool, that you can put these 4 things in. So the tube would go around those, and that becomes a little package for the dog. The dog will also know it's theirs. You can teach a larger dog to pick that up and carry it, and then they take their place markers with them. Now, the hand-spun wools are really for the scent of sheep, but as you can see, some of these things are acrylic. This is a service dog leash, which is a slightly longer leash. It's about 3.5 feet long, and it's printed on both sides, service dog. And that's for visibility. If, like in my neighborhood, there are a lot of people with dogs, that you can read that from quite a distance. So anybody walking their dog, say, 50 feet away, is going to know that you have a service dog. I put it all in one of these, which is a Pro Art box from Dick Blick. This is the 12-inch box. It's only like $5. And so you can, all of this will pack into this one box. And that's all you need to take anywhere you go for your service dog or your dog, pet dog. Now, scent. My dog especially likes hand-spun wool and the scent of sheep, and I think all dogs would react to that. But let's say you live in a nursing home, or let's say you don't spin or you don't use yarn. Either in a nursing home, you're going to have your own room. In assisted living, you're going to have your own room. These are the types of people that generally might have a service dog. And so what I've done is take a block of scented wax and put it in here. You could use any scent you want. You could also put a hanky in there with your perfume on it. You want to get your own house scent on everything. And when you're not using them, keep them in here, and everything is going to smell the same. So if you travel, you're taking all your training tools, all of your dog's things are all going to be where the dog knows is home. Because home is where you are, as far as a dog is concerned. They may have a favorite bed, a favorite couch, all of that, but you want them to be able to deal with anything just using these types of portable things. So if you're in an airport, you want to be able to put this down anywhere, say place, and that dog is perfectly fine staying there. So again, 4 place markers, a pillowcase that is like a place mat, a home hanky, and the comfort collar, the tube, a whistle, a rope leash, a short leash, and a longer service dog leash. A service dog set.